Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Grid Vision's Wednesday night top split coverage. We are live here from Kansas Speedway. Right now, we're working out a few technological kinks, but in the meantime, me and Sheldon Adkins and Austin Derbyshire are going to bring you, and by me, I mean Joe LaCastro, are going to bring you the best in iRacing. But we'll start things off by jumping right in as the guys are already there, getting ready to go. Sheldon, let's go ahead and break things down. First things first, Sean Conklin on the grid. He's pole position is Sean Conklin. Second, it's Roger Pierce. Third, it's Quentin Warman. Fourth, Joseph Galata. Fifth, Vicente Salas. Sixth, Tommy Gossett. Seventh, Paul Bergoli. Eighth, Evan Say. Ninth, Patrick Gitter. And 10th, Nolan Hodgson.
11th, we're going to have Chuck Chalkley with Derek Heitman to his outside. 13th position, going to be Justin Levine with JR Babarema on his outside. 15th position going to be Daniel Nanny with Paul Hill starting on the top in 16th. 17th is going to be Johnny Bawridge with Dylan Banks starting 18th. 19th is going to be Alan Wilson with Brandon Meal in... sorry about that. I think it's up to you now. It's weird not having my eyes working right now. Right. We're having... You're it.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a night, but let's keep moving. John Williams, we got Cody Johnson in 25th, Noah Bitts in 26th, Lincoln Bond in 27th, Brendan Schmidt in 28th, Tyler Luttrell in 29th, Richard Garcia in 30th, Maggie McGuire 31st, Raul Sarabia in 32nd, Sean Anderson in 33rd, Nick Olson in 34th, Austin Edstrom in 35th, and Bradley Brandon in 36th. And there's the green flag. We're all caught up finally. Here we go, and there they go. Go on Grid Vision. Wednesday night top split.
Sean Conklin all the way down to the apron, coming into one, trying to break the draft over the 54 machine behind him. Works out pretty well for him here through 1 and 2. Conklin will get a little bit of an advantage over his teammate Quentin Warman and Roger Pierce, working the top line, trying to get past the 84 machine down the backstretch.
Let's see what they can do here side by side. Still a lot of racing going on as the guys get sorted out here. Kansas can be one where it takes a little while for these guys to sort things out, as we've seen right now, with eyes on Quentin Warman toward the front here.
And Roger Pierce with a power move, taking the lead position away from Sean Conklin, sending it around the top line and stealing that spot relatively quickly. As we look now at the 11 machine diving down to the inside of Quentin Warman, Vicente Salas trying to get that machine down there to the bottom, take over the position. Going to be a little bit tight coming out of turn 2. Almost door contact. No harm, no foul, though. Vicente Salas is going to have the position at the stripe here.
Salas. My current pick for the race, actually, if I had to answer the question, I do think that he's got a pretty good chance tonight. Just looking at the names that were listed and so how they were doing, that was one that stood out to me.
Right now you see everybody trying to train themselves down to the bottom. A couple guys going up the top trying to pick off position. Most of these guys know that the money is going to be to stay right down there in that white line in the early part of this run. Back these cars down, let those tires breathe a little bit before you really put some heat into them. One guy that didn't really get the memo, though, is the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter as he hooks that Chevrolet up on the outside line, trying to get past Vicente Salas on the back straight with third position. Tucked in line right behind Sean Conklin. Conklin throws a little bit of block, but here comes the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter up to the right rear quarter pound now of the Napa Auto Parts Camry.
That move there. Gitter, he's got the momentum, and he's still got it, pushing through the top of the oval here. Looking for turn 1 and 2. Sean Conklin on his inside. Vicente trying his best to hold on. He's just a little wobbly behind Conklin there. But I think that these top 10 cars have finally gotten things a little sorted out here. There's a lot of action, though, a little further back. You see that?
One guy that doesn't think it's sorted right now, though, is going to be the 21 machine of Gitter, as he's still going to be trying to make some kind of a move happen on Roger Pierce, but we do look a little bit further back in the pack right now.
As we look back, though, Gitter made the move.
Yep, Gitter sticking it up on the outside line, going to get past the Caterpillar Camry, and he's going to take the lead here on lap 6, but you got to wonder, though, we saw it last night when we covered SSRL, how much of a detriment you put yourself into putting it on that outside line, trying to make moves early.
Yeah, the man who started doing that in SSRL did not win the race, as I recall. But here we are with Gitter trying to set himself up as an early leader, an early hard charger, in fact. He's up 8 positions from where he started. He has not stopped trying to gain positions since this race started, but maybe he's learning his lesson here as he cycles back and gives Ears Pierce a chance here to take back the position at the front of the race.
Yeah, Roger Pierce just took him to Claire's. Roger Pierce taking the lead back here, coming to the stripe to take the 8th lap of the evening. 27 machine looks like it's going to be a difficult one to contend with here. As you see Sean Conklin now trying to size up Patrick Gitter for 2nd place, try and get the spot back. But for the most part, everybody just single file on a train here on the low line. A little bit of action, a little bit further in the back of the pack.
Yes, sir. Zach Range.
Right. Yeah. And Range trying to make something happen there on the low line. There's Justin Levine up on the outside. And it's a tale of 233s here as Tommy Gossett and Justin Levine are side by side, neck and neck. Same font and everything, kind of confusing.
Almost a clone car. And a little sideways for Junior Boberema as he finds himself in a 3 wide position right there with Tommy Gossett.
Gonna dive down to the bottom here, up to the white line, slides up the track, a little bit of contact between him and the 15 machine of JR Barbarema. Barbarema going to get cycled out.
This is an intense situation for Barbarema.
Barbarema going to send it back in on the top line, not trying to concede the spot just yet, still stuck in the middle. And this right here, this is a nervous situation for Levine, but let's focus on the battle for the lead now. Patrick Gitter getting back on the outside line, using the same move he used a handful of laps ago to take the position away again from Roger Pierce. 11 laps on the board, and it's been a conveyor belt up here at the point for the lead.
Really has been. And we're on the double digits now. We're lap 11. We're going through 134 tonight. We'll see how these guys handle things here. This is the NiS top split, so we're not expecting anything other than green flags and green flag pit stops. We'll see if these guys can hold on and how long they can before Kansas eventually claims it's first.
Also want to throw out, it looks like a new paint scheme for the 98 machine of Joseph Gulata. You know, he mentioned there was a lot of changes coming his way here in upcoming weeks, and I imagine that would be a part of it. New paint, new sponsor, stuck on that machine.
So it says CFM Performance there on the hood?
Yep. Yeah, he said they're trying to kind of change the nature of the open series here on iRacing, and it's always good to see somebody else take an extra stab and bring a little competition here to a series that tends to end up a little bit stagnant.
Up at the front, Ears Pierce is getting a challenge once again from Patrick Gitter. Gitter not quite able to get it, though. Yeah, Gitter falling back.
Gitter took the lead, and Pierce takes it right back, but here comes Zach Range with a hell of a run down to the inside line to try and take the position away from Patrick Gitter. Side by side, it's going to be a close fight here. Range gets a little bit tight on the bottom, has to back out of it a little bit, give him the opportunity to Gitter to get his stuff back together.
You want to talk about someone who's really been pushing hard right now? Zach Range, up 18 positions from where he started right now. Looking pretty good. Got a little bit of a push from Evan Say behind him. Not Evan Say, excuse me. A little bit of a push from the 54 machine of Sean Conklin behind him. But Zach Range is really putting it down right now on the inside.
Yeah, Range doing a really good job. We don't normally see him up here at the point like this early in the race. Pretty good performance for him to start off with speed like that. It's always good to have a good short run car, especially here in the NiS, because so many of these races get taken away by late race cautions, really putting you in a bind that you can't dig yourself out of with a longer pace car. Right now, though, up for the lead, here comes the 20 machine of Say, trying to make something happen on the outside of the 27 of Roger Pierce.
Can he do it? Say's got the momentum here, down through the stretch, across the line. He's going to have it by a nose.
And if memory serves, that whole deal with Gulata that we were talking about, I believe from what if I remember correctly, what I heard last week, Evan is a huge part of that organization. when it comes to the setups being built. As he gets up to the back bumper of the 27 of Pierce. Pierce learned a little bit of a defense line down into 3 and 4. Here comes Justin Levine working the top now, trying to make something happen as a 33 of Say gets crazy loose on the inside line, but is doing a hell of a job keeping it under him. Here comes Levine, though, still charging, but the 33 bouncing back with a little bit of slipstream from the 27 of Pierce.
As we watch this go through right now, I want to highlight that the action at the front is very, very hot, but there is a lot of tension throughout this entire stack right now. We've only briefly had some single file racing. There is a lot of 2x2, a lot of 3 wide going on down the entire stack. Tyler Luttrell is up 20 positions right now from where he started. Zach Range is down back to 6th position, but he's still up 15 from where he started. Justin Levine up 11. So it is a racer's race right now. Really, if you've got to move and you're making it. Here we are 3 wide at the front. Patrick Gitter zooms ahead. What speed!
Gitter had the thing keyed up about a half an inch of the fence. Didn't look like he was going to be able to make anything happen with it, but Levine and Pierce both struggling to keep the power up as the 21 machine went to the outside line, and the momentum goes to Patrick Gitter. Patrick Gitter back again in the race lead here on lap 19.
What a move. Really good. Yeah, he was set up right there. It was a nice, tight 3 wide situation. And then Gitter, with just a burst of momentum right out of the pocket, manages to make it work. Right now, Levine, though, is on the inside. He says, nah, I want to slice. I'm going to go ahead and take the preferred line here. I'm going to get down lower. I'm going to have that corner, and we're going to see if coming out of this corner, who's got the speed, who can take it across the line. It's Gitter for this lap, but it might not be that way when we come back around, thanks to Pierce giving a little bit of a push to Justin Levine.
Justin Levine now at the point of the race, 20 laps in, worked his way through a decent amount of traffic to get up here. Now Gitter dives back down to the bottom, trying for the crossover. Gitter with the momentum down the back straightaway. Which one's going to come out on top here into 3? Gitter with a decent advantage coming into the corner, but here comes Levine charging back into the right rear quarter pound before we get out of 4. And Pierce coming up to give a little bit of a push to his teammate. Justin Levine going to lead him to the stripe here for lap 21.
And it looks like we might be getting, we're getting a 3 wide situation. Gitter leading things off in the middle line. Justin Levine on the outside. Pierce down on the inside line, not quite though. Pierce almost into the rear left there of Gitter. Gitter, ooh, very close right now on Justin Levine, who's got the race lead here by just about an inch.
Oh, Pierce is loose. Just about had the back end of the 27 machine come around on him there through 3 and 4. Has to pedal it up the hill to avoid any incident. Falls back, loses a little bit of time at least. Still sticking it down to the bottom though, trying to keep, what's left of those tires beneath him as he starts to go to battle here with Zach Range.
And you just saw him slide
one car
all
hard
the
to the
way back.
fence. Coming out of 2, way back in the pack. One car bounces off the wall. Like a 2-car incident. Nobody goes around, though. Everything's straight, no caution. Now Justin Levine trying to ride off into the Kansas City sunset here as he builds up the biggest lead we've seen so far at 0.3 of a second over second place.
And if you look back just a little ways, Tyler Luttrell, as I mentioned, getting very loose right now going down the back stretch, but he is charging hard right now. Sean Conklin on the inside, he's got to deal with that. Luttrell now taking it on the outside up by the wall. He's going to put things 3 wide right now with Zach Range. Contact a little bit. He takes the move though, makes the move on Range. He's got it. It's Luttrell in 4th, up 25 positions from where he started.
Yeah, Luttrell putting together a good run of the Monster Energy Camry here this evening. Just looking up that 30 car, Brandon Mill, somebody we don't talk about a whole lot. Hasn't had the best luck in this series. Doing a really good job in the EPI machine, as you see him working the outside line right now, up a handful of spots, and this one's looking pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Going to battle with Sean Conklin.
Himself,
I mean, that low of a car number here in the series, that's a good feeling when you're going up there against the guy that's literally been leading the points since we dropped the flag on the season back in February.
And he's got him. He's got him right dead to rights. Oh, maybe not now as he grinds the wall. Oh, no. There goes Brendan Meal. He's going to cycle back far, far, far now, all the way back to 15th after a very unfortunate date with the wall out of 4.
Yeah, this is what happens every time I'm nice to people. I just need to start being a douche more often. Start picking on everybody.
That's the way. That's what all those Disney movies and Saturday morning specials taught us. Just be a jerk.
Also, somebody else has been moving here tonight. Up from dead last start. Oh, man, Pierce just about lost it again. Really fighting with demons in the Caterpillar machine this evening. The guy that started shotgun on the field this evening, Austin Edstrom, already working himself up into the top 20, sitting there at 20th position right now. Always got to shout out the homie when we see him on track. Edstrom, you know, spent a lot of time up here in the booth picking on these guys. Now he's getting out here to race with them and see what it's all about. And a good run so far from Stanley Tools, Cameron. And if he's watching the broadcast, he's probably flicking me the bird saying, "Don't talk about me, damn it."
Well, there goes the man who taught me half of everything I know. And there goes somebody around now. They got Zach Range on the inside.
The caution is out. And it looks like that
was way on the inside.
It looks like the old Mercedes caught a little bit of air there through the grass. See him up against the fence at the back end, just wiggling. And 15 machine just not doing a good enough job checking up to keep it off of him. That's kind of the situation you put yourself into here, unfortunately, when you're working the top at Kansas. When the back end starts to kick out from under you, that guy behind you probably not going to lift.
Yeah, he's just going to add to the situation, and it did. Added just enough to tip the scale, and there went Range flopping through the infield, but he had to cross half the driving surface to do it. So that's where your yellow came from. Right now, folks, is these guys. Oh, go on.
That loose condition all started when he got up there. He got a little too high in the corner. You saw him get up into the gray and try to pull the car up off of the wall. You know, out of harm's way from hitting the wall, because he probably thought that he was going to drive it into the fence. And once he, threw that extra bit of wheel into it, it shifted the balance rearward on the car, and that's what brought him around so quick. That's why he was so loose. And then just that little touch from the 15 machine was just the straw to break the Campbell's back.
Ugh. That little touch, that little bit. Oh, close call right now. Almost coming out of pit road here.
Patrick Gitter looks like he's going to win the race off of pit road over Justin Levine in a close battle.
Very close. You see Levine came up extremely fast to that speed limit and slammed right into the limit right when he got to Patrick Gitter, but Gitter was ahead by about a license plate's width, and it looks like he made it out there.
Yeah, Levine, though, man, the 33 car is looking pretty hooked up here tonight. Had a lot of speed last night in SSRO, and the race just slipped right out of his hands, falling into the hands instead of Timothy Wortman Jr.
Yeah.
Through a late race caution to really change his strategy, and Levine just was never able to get back up to the front to capitalize. But this evening, it looks like he's starting off strong, striking while the iron's hot, sitting up here at the front, leading a handful of laps. Looks like he's got a fast machine under him. It'll be interesting to see what he does tonight. But Gitter has just been so exciting to follow up here, though, too. He's the first guy to stick it up there against the wall. And if I know anything about Patrick Gitter, we're going to see a lot of that as we work ourselves through the next 100 and 104 laps.
Yes, sir. Gitter's been driving very hard tonight. And we've been reaping the benefits from up here in the booth and getting a chance to see exactly how to play Kansas, play it like a fiddle. He's been able to ride the wall without hitting the wall. He's been able to make the passes without sacrificing moves back too much. He's stayed in contention the entire time that he's been in this race so far, and watching the rest of this race with him up front is going to be a matter of, I think, learning something else about potentially how to race and save. So that's going to be what he has to do in order to maintain this position right now. Now, everyone went down, and it looks like Gitter took tires, so I'm going to assume that he's in a prime position to get things kicked off here. Everybody's running on cold tires, though, so we'll have to see how they handle the first couple of turns here. They might outdrive themselves trying to get some positions. There goes the pace car. We're getting ready. Here comes the zone. Get ready, folks. Here we are. Green yet again on Grid Vision.
They're going to get a good launch. Justin Levine going to duck in line right behind the 21 machine as we work ourselves into 1 and 2. Sean Conklin all over the back bumper of Justin Levine. Already single filing out here for the first 5 positions.
They got in the line fast. They got in the line very fast. But here comes Levine. I think that he's ready to already make things side by side.
Yep, trying to dive bomb into 3, trying to throw the 21 machine to the back of the pile here. Not able to make it happen, though. Gitter doing such a good job running that second lane through these corners on cold tires. Probably the best out here doing it this evening. I mean, I'll tell you what, it doesn't shock me too much, though. If there's 2 drivers in this field, week in and week out, that I just wish we could have a camera hand on from start to finish, because they pull some of the coolest, most exciting damn moves I've ever seen. I'd have to give that one to Patrick Gitter and Roger Pierce, because they're always doing something crazy, and it's always a treat to watch.
Speaking of a treat to watch right now, it's the moves of Tyler Luttrell, the 54 Monster Energy car right now, who has made moves on the outside line, found that speed. He's passing Sean Conklin right now, and he's leading Evan Say with him.
A little 54 versus 54 fight happening here. Conklin opting to take the save mode here, rolling out of it, letting the 54 machine of Luttrell get in front of him. Luttrell on a good run tonight, too. Another guy we don't talk about all that often, but looking like he's bringing a lot of speed here to Kansas.
Yeah, he's tearing it up. You should have seen him earlier in the race. Right now, he's up 26 positions. He's the second hardest charger of the race, behind Nick Olson, who is also up 27 positions, but he's back in 7th place. Up here in first, it's Tyler Luttrell.
Luttrell working the outside line all the way up against the fence in Larson territory here through 3 and 4, trying to get past the 21 machine of Patrick Gitter, and he's going to get the job done here out of turn 4. Tyler Luttrell, your race leader, 35 laps on the board, and the 54 machine is at the point.
You just love to see it. Like you said, a name we don't normally call at the front very often here, but here he is, taking it away. He's got a good couple car lengths right now on Patrick Gitter, too. He's out there in the clean air. Let's see if he makes use of it.
Well, that's the thing that's so magical about this track, too, compared to any of the other mile and a halves we go to. Most mile and a halves, it comes down to how good of a car you got, guaranteed. That's the decision maker 9 times out of 10. It's about, I'd say right now, the way it is, it's about 75% setup, and then that other 25% is the nut behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But you come here to a track with so many groups, so many different places you can put the car. Honestly, I would compare Kansas and Las Vegas. Both to me feel like if you would take a dirt track, stuff extra banking into it, pave it over, well, I mean, obviously, make it a mile and a half, because there's so many different ways you can attack the corners, approach it, different lines you can make work. And those 2 tracks, to me, it feels like we always see just these guys that we don't talk about that all that often, that have just a little bit something different behind the wheel. They approach the car a little different, and they find that extra pace that, they don't typically find week in and week out. I wouldn't say it's like a super speedway where it's just a big old, throw a bunch of cars at the track and see which one makes it out alive. Like, this is still very driver-based, but it feels like there's a lot more driver talent required here at Kansas, and a lot of different skill sets that can really come out and shine.
I think we're seeing some good examples of that right now, as we've got Evan Say up in 2nd right now. He's up 6 places from where he started, but right next to him on the outside, Nick Olson, up 32 places. He slides into 2nd place. He's got eyes on Tyler Luttrell, but it's a 2.5 seconds, or about a 1.10. Excuse me. There's 1.10 away from the 2, so he's got about a 1 second to make up before he'll be able to catch up to Tyler Luttrell and put the screws to him. We'll see if he can do it. He's got plenty of time to figure it out.
Well, I do have to say, though, I think Tyler Luttrell's showing a little bit too much of his hand too early here, as you see him working all the way up there against that outside line. We've talked about how demanding that is on the tires. We've talked about that all week since we came here. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to come back to bite him here before too long. I do have to give a tip of the hat to the 31 machine of Nick Olson, though, up here in 2nd place. A good run for him, and a much-needed one at that. And, you're talking about Evan Say being somebody that we don't really cover a whole lot, but I got to say, man, we heard everything Gulata said last week. We know the alliance between the 2 of them. We know what they're trying to bring to the track. I feel like that 20 machine is going to be one that we see up here in contention more often than not as we work ourselves forward through this season.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Absolutely. I gotta remember those words, the wise words of Gulata, who mentioned that partnership is something that where they're going to try to bring something new to the track. That was very memorable thing to say.
A new shop, which is always something welcome here in the iRacing landscape. It's great to see different people try different things, different approaches to setups, different options for the user base of the service. You know, we know we got the big dogs here. We know we got Ryko, which is week in and week out, just on the money. We know we got Team Conti, which is the same exact thing. EPI hits some great stuff more often than not as well. Like there's a lot of great options here for the user base. It's good to see, you know, more people throw their hat in the ring and give us something else just to get extra guys up here at the front. Because, you know, there's going to be that one guy that doesn't like what one setup shop builds and prefer to try something new.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think that having that nice ecosystem of multiple different styles and groups and availabilities and just opinions on what is best for the car makes iRacing a better service.
Yeah, and it's just it keeps everybody honest, keeps everybody working and digging for that extra little bit, you know.
Yep.
The more people you get, the more people are going to find something. And occasionally, the blind squirrel finds a nut too. You know, sometimes I'll find my way up there at the front. Magic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are well past the date of the independent driver setup builder, but it is cool to see what these guys have brought to the service. This is some blistering pace out here. As you see Luttrell now pulling away to 2.5 seconds over second place Nick Olsen.
Now, these things get about 60, 65 laps on them, I think, right? Before they have to pit?
Yep.
So we pit on 28. So we're probably looking to somewhere around, so that's almost 30, 65 laps, somewhere around 90, I think, is where we're going to probably get that green flag pit. Window is going to start to open up. We got a little ways to go, but I wonder if Luttrell can hold on until then. That's a pretty big question, because a lot of his success right now hinges on the success of everybody behind him.
Yeah, but another big part of it, though, is how long before those tires start to bite back at him. One thing that'd be interesting to see is get an onboard look as Tyler Luttrell runs the lap here around Kansas Speedway, because I can guarantee you it's probably going to be the edgiest thing you see here tonight.
That's true. Let's have a look-see
here.
Look at
him. Look at him creeping it right up there, right up in the center of the corner. He's creeping it right up about maybe an inch to 2 inches off of the wall. And that right there, that's where the speed is, but it can bite you so quick. There's a cushion of air, a pocket of air that builds up on the right rear of this car. And it's not as strong as it used to be. Back when we were, the Xfinity car, the truck, you could really hammer it up there against the wall. With this current Cup car, since the sides are rounded off, it's a lot more difficult to hit. But if you can find it, it is still there. But it is the easiest mistake to make to slip over that, it gets referred to as a cushion because it's like the cushion around the outside line of a dirt track is how Kyle Larson refers to it. And if you slip over it, though, you get stuck in that wall and glued, that 3-second advantage you have over the field that Tyler Luttrell has right now will quickly diminish down to nothing.
Well, let's see how well he can do as the race goes on. Tyler Luttrell leads things into lap 48. Behind him, it's Nick Olsen and Evan Say still battling it out for second place. Folks, we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, more of the Wednesday night top split racing from Grid Vision. So don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back, folks, with more of that Grid Vision Wednesday night top split action. It's me, Joe LaCastro, up in the booth with Sheldon Atkins, and down in the truck, pushing it all around, making it happen. It's Austin Derbyshire. And here we are from Kansas Speedway. Yep, he's been there the whole time.
Oh, contact
we are
out
here
too.
from Kansas. Oh, no. Who was that?
31 machine of Olsen just about goes off the front bumper of Vicente Salas. An impressive save, and up into the fence at 3 and 4. And we got a caution on the Speedway.
This is going to change the plans of Tyler Luttrell a little bit as Brendan Schmidt recovers his car.
Let's see what happened here. Brandon Schmidt up against the wall here. Down the back straight away, and a little bit of contact there, and unfortunately he Schmidt's the bed a little bit coming into 3. Tough break for Brandon Schmidt in the 20 machine as you see on the track.
Very, very tough break. And it looks like he went when he was just coming down, he blind spot, potentially just straight up didn't know there was a car there, or when he spun himself right over the nose of him.
That right there, that's one of the easiest mistakes to make here. Both cars moved lanes ever so slightly and connected with each other. That's just, you come out of the corner, you think you've got the wheel completely straight, and with a lot of these wheels, there's like a bit of a dead zone before you start feeling, the force feedback, and it's more pronounced here in the next gen car. I've had problems with it before, but I have problems just about everything. That's not a shock at all. There's a reason I'm up here in the booth talking about it. But it's an easy mistake to just come out of the corner, think that you've lined up straight with the wall, and think the car's going the right way, and you're just ever so slightly moving, millimeters at a time, and next thing you know, when you're that close to somebody, it's going to come back and bite you pretty quick. Just an unfortunate racing deal between those two.
And here's the race off the line. It's going to actually be Evan Say who wins the race off of pit road. Here it looks like Tyler Luttrell falling in place right behind with Justin Levine in 3rd.
Tell you what's going to be interesting here, though, is Tyler Luttrell rolling off on the outside line from 2nd place here on this restart. If he can get through the gears and get a good restart, we saw him get up to the 3-second advantage that last run. It'd be crazy to see how huge of a run he could get here, how big of an advantage he can get here if things play out the way they did earlier.
I mean, something else. It's very high possibility considering that the way that he's been driving and considering how he's been charging up through the field so far. He's up 27 positions. Holding on to that position could be within the realm of possibilities. But also up here, let's not forget a few other names that are in the double digits in terms of charging. Justin Levine up 10. Noah Bitts makes his way up into the top 5. He's up 22 positions right now. Sean Conklin, Patrick Gitter, but then Nick Olson also in the top 10. He's up 26 positions, holding on to the 7th place position as we go around and get ready to kick things off here. The lights are off in the pace car. Soon we'll be kicking off lap 57 into 58, getting things ready to finish things off at Kansas Speedway. That's a
that would be our producer bringing up good points here. That'd be pretty interesting, but I don't know. I feel like I've seen Luttrell's name around a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I should see it more often the way he's been driving.
Like, I've heard the name before at some point. I just cannot remember where, what series. Tyler Trout definitely putting together a good run. I mean, if it's not Ty Gibbs on alternate account, it definitely driving like Ty Gibbs, because Ty Gibbs got a lot of talent there, especially for one of these younger guys coming in. Oh, sorry, Joe, I'm talking over you.
Now you're good, buddy, because there's the green flag, and now we're racing again. We are green yet again here on Grid Vision, and it's all good as we got things going and kick things off. We cross the line into 58, looking for 134 tonight here in the NiS top split.
Oh, and 3 wide down the back straightaway. Justin Levine going to duck the Mac Tools machine underneath the Chevrolet of Evan Say into 3 and 4 now. 3 wide still as Tyler Trail working the outside line. Oh, Say, it's so close, but he just barely tucks the line behind the 54 machine. It almost gets a shot from the 99. There's a lot going on here. The 55.
That was quite the dialect.
I'm turning into Kazi up here, man. It's so exciting.
55. It was awesome. Beautiful.
I have shit the bed up here, guys. It's over. We're downhill from here. Speaking of downhill, Justin Levine trying to make a move here for the lead on the 54 of Tyler Luttrell into 1. The 54.
It is really busy up here at the front still, side by side with Levine and Luttrell. Say just looking for a spot. Ooh.
Levine pulls a slider through 1 and 2, gets up in front of the 54 Monster Energy machine down the back straightaway. But Luttrell is not giving up on that outside line. He is just keeping it committed up there.
Yeah, he's never going to give up on it. I think it's paid off too much for him. Here he is again, trying that again in the outside line, the one that's paid off. Like we said, it's paid off too much for him. Even if it looks like it's not going to pay off.
Wobble through 1 and 2. It's going to really break the momentum. But he still gets to the quarter panel of Levine down the back stretch and pulls a side draft, and it's going to pull him back a little bit into 3.
Exactly. Now let's cycle back a little bit and see what's happening with a few other cars here. Nick Olson side by side. He's on the inside. He's side by side with Patrick Gitter, on a previous race leader. Gitter still there, trying to find a spot. Not sure exactly who's going to win this one. To the line, Gitter and Olson, but it looks like Gitter's going to slide in behind Olson there. And back up at the front, it's side by side.
Oh, it looks like Say's about to get his ears pierced, declares, as Roger Pierce muscles him up into 3 a little bit. Shot to the door, a little bit of contact. Everybody keeps it straight, though, but certainly probably not happy there. As you see Say coming back down, tapping into him again, and they make more contact down to turn 1.
That's not friendly at all. That's not friendly. Got to keep it straight and there. Ears Pierce.
Here comes Say, diving it back down to the bottom into 3. Is he going to give him room? Looks like he's giving him a decent amount. Here comes Pierce, though, cutting back down on the door. Out of 4, more contact.
No, there it is.
And Pierce and Say all the way down into the grass. And there's going to be
personal.
I think that one's going to come back to bite at some point, potentially.
That was a personal one. There was definitely no love lost between those two drivers. It looked like, almost like Pierce was just, was coming back down on his line and said, you know what, I'm tired of you trying to muzzle me back up here. Give me some room. But the way that he sent him out, it was just enough to send him down to the inside without triggering a yellow. And so, unfortunately, Say is going to have to cycle back just enough to make the rest of this race something that's going to be an uphill run for him. I'm not sure if he'll ever be able to give that receipt back to our friend Pierce up there in 3rd place.
Caution, 4 tires, and some luck through a restart, and anything is possible. I'll say that much. I've seen I've seen some crazy shit happen here since I started covering. Anyway, everything kind of calming down a little bit here. A couple guys working that outside line, trying to make some moves happen here midway through. Tyler Luttrell, now your race leader, took the spot from Justin Levine a little bit ago.
He wanted that spot back, and he went ahead and took it back. Tyler Luttrell, very impressive drive here in the first and second half of this race so far. And we are just about in the second half of this race. As a matter of fact, folks, lap 67 out of 134. Thank you for joining us so much. Please hit that follow button so that we can give you
again.
some 4K broadcast very soon.
A little bit of a wobble out of the monster machine of Luttrell there. Going to open the door for Justin Levine. Levine trying to work the middle lane. Trying to get something to stick here. They're side by side at the start-finish line. Never mind. That was an optical illusion. They were not side by side.
They were side by side at the Oasis in the distance, and when we got there, there was nothing. But now I think it's fair to say they might very well be side by side. There is a lot of foreshortening on some of these camera angles, I have to admit. It's hard for me to tell, too.
Yeah, there we go. Our producer realizing that I am actually just blind as shit, giving us the cameras that I need to tell where we're at. See Justin Levine up to the quarter panel, down to 1. And Levine doing a good job using that low line, trying to hold some kind of competition to the 54 machine, but that outside line momentum is really shooting Luttrell up into position. But these two stay side by side like this for too much longer, and I feel like old Roger Pierce is going to pull out the Caterpillar bulldozer and slam both of them out of the way, because look who's looming in the distance. Somebody cue the Jaws music.
Objects in mirror may be closer than they appear. I'm sure that's what the two of them are realizing here about Ears Pierce, as Luttrell looks like he might have stopped, not giving up the fight, but he's kind of let up on the battle a little bit here. He's staying on the outside, but Ears Pierce now on the inside is making a pass potentially to get that second place spot out of Luttrell.
Yeah, and Luttrell definitely losing the handle on the thing this run. It was so great the last one, but not able to keep the momentum that he's looking for here on this second stint. Falling into the clutches of Roger Pierce now down the back straightaway. Pierce trying to close that advantage a little bit. Not much else going on. It's pretty quiet here on the home front.
Yeah, holding on to it. Things have been going sort of smoothly here, as we've had a few positions of two wides here and there, a few passes being made here and there, but a lot of action up at the front of this race too that we've been covering.
Oh, Austin Edstrom flirting around there in the what is that, around the top 15?
Yes, sir.
Good run so far. It's difficult to claw through a field this talented. And any position here is kind of a win.
Yeah. Getting into top split in the first place, massive accomplishment. Getting and moving up in top split during the race, even more so. Quite the field here as we look down and get the speed camera.
Tell you what, there's nothing better than the wall cameras, in my opinion. I've always loved this ever since I was a kid. Oh, yes. Oh, man.
Yes.
I'm about to start making ape noises over here.
Yes, sir. I think it's fun. It really highlights just the raw speed and the agility these guys have to deal with. It is a lot of, we say it's a lot of left turns, but from this angle, it's just terrifying. It's just terrifying. It's really a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, it's great. I was watching, I think it was last year's Daytona 500 with my daughter. It was 2 at the time. First time she got to actually sit down and watch a race and like understand kind of what was going on. And they cut to the Crank It Up where they put the cameras on the wall and everything, and she sees the cars getting ever so closer, and she was sitting about 2 inches away from the TV by the TV stand. And man, as soon as the first car slammed by and the camera shook, she jolted. And then she looked back at me once she realized it was just the TV and just started laughing hysterically.
Oh, yeah, the Indy 500 has flowers that get eviscerated by the end of the race from the cars going by.
Yes, it is so cool. Oh, man, we're getting up to the best time of the year, too. Man, Memorial Day weekend is fast approaching. Kyle Larson running the double this year, Indy 500 and Coke 600 if weather and scheduling permits.
That's right.
No, just got the Monaco Grand Prix to start the morning out. Man, it's like Christmas here for us motorsports fans.
It's going to be a beautiful weekend. Beautiful weekend indeed. As right now we take a look and see if there's been any shuffling going on here on our motorsports field right now.
Here we are. Conklin really kind of in a little bit of a struggle right now. You know, we're getting later into the stages of this race. And, you know, started up front, looked like he had a whole lot of pace. Slipped into the back. I figured he was just saving tires, but he's kind of falling behind the 8 ball here.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
No, we are rapidly running out of time here in this evening's NIS. Luttrell's kind of got himself in the middle of a hornet's nest right now, right behind Roger Pierce, trying to battle with Noah Bitts. Bitts also on another stellar run with another new paint scheme and car number. Really fun to try and keep up what this guy's doing. Tried to pull a slider there, didn't make it work, didn't stick. Back end kind of came around on him a little bit. Well, Saraiva's up there in the top 5 as well, sitting there in the 4th position in that 27 machine. And that's a name we don't talk about often.
That's very true.
You know, the back
Not a name
bumper
that gets
now.
brought up very often.
Yeah, we're looking at the back bumper there for a second as we watch the 54 machine of Luttrell give a huge shot to the back of the 27 Roger Pierce. Oh, and these two, man, oh. Luttrell is struggling right now.
Yeah, he
still not coming
can't
off the
seem to
outside.
find a spot that's going to work for him.
Car just looks real nervous right now. You know, that first run, he was planted in, had everything perfect. I think he threw an adjustment on pit road to try and get a little bit more out of it, and I think he may have got a little greedy with it. Oh, Bitts gets up into the fence in 3 and 4, has to check out of it, almost gets turned around by the 27 machine of Ross Sarava. Thankfully, the 27 realizes that there's more pedals than just the loud pedal, cracks off the throttle a little bit, lets him live to fight another day, and these two are going to get through. But man, oh, Luttrell almost, I thought he was going to spin around. You saw how sideways that car was through 1 and 2. Just about lost it in front of Gitter, and now Gitter going to dive down to the bottom to try and take position from the 54 machine. Not able to get it done. They're going to get back up in line behind him, tucked to the quarter panel. And oh, we got a car around on the front straightaway, head on into the outside wall.
Yep. That's going to put a hamper on things. That's Vicente Salas.
He's got her backed up into the fence there. He got carried on into the wall by somebody. I couldn't see who it was.
Brings it down, straightens it out. Let's go back in time and find out. Eyes on Salas here in the middle.
Contact Warman, not much, then slides up into the 80 machine.
Yes, sir. Goes up and folds it around the 80.
I will say it's a class act of Salas to keep it pinned up there against the wall like that, though. Most other drivers would have tried to throttle out of that and chase the car back down the hill and then put themselves in a whole lot more trouble. But Vicente doing a good job keeping it pinned up against the wall, keeping the wreck out of the racing groove.
Yeah, that could have involved a lot more cars. It's a very good way to look at it. And it unfortunately did involve 1 and 2, but in this case, it was just those 2, as now the field gets a chance to reset a little bit and to come back with a fresh approach to the situation.
Justin Levine coming up pit road, getting 4 tires and fuel for the Mac Tools Camry. Right there in front of him, you see the 76, Derek Heitman, a quiet night for the Bridgestone Toyota.
I wish that iRacing would at least give these pit crews a little bit of pretend activity when the car is at the pit stop. Just something when it's in the box.
If you got your graphics all the way up and you're driving one of these cars, the pit crew will come around and do everything for you. They'll even wave at you. Hell, they'll flip you the bird. Yeah, it'll just be your car that renders it.
Okay.
I mean, it's a battle of what does everybody need to see
That's
and what
true.
does everybody want to see. When it comes to optimization, which I have to give a huge bit of credit to iRacing because you can run this service on just about the biggest piece of shit, and you can still pull 60 frames if you set your graphics right. Like iRacing is very well optimized, especially for a racing simulator, because most of them just like to try to see if they could turn your GPU into a microwave.
Well, yeah, and I think that iRacing has a possibility here, especially, I'm biased. I want to look at it from a broadcaster's point of view. I think I got a possibility here to really make things look like broadcast quality. And just for someone who's not going to actually race in the race, just make it look really good. And let's see if we can get something out of that. But I think that they're getting there. Obviously, it is the best looking in its class of its class in terms of getting the simulation right too. I think it definitely is, obviously. So we'll see as the graphics ramp up. But I agree with you. I don't think that's necessarily important to get the graphics as important as it is to make it run smoothly on everybody's machine.
And you also say you want that until you get TOS strike for streaming because somebody decided they want to have a nudist colony service their car on pit road. 'Cause there's some pretty
Oh yeah.
interesting pit crew
Oh, well, I
designs
wouldn't
that people
allow
have out
any.
there.
Yeah, you have to be limited about the custom content, obviously. But
Oh yeah, I mean
yeah, no one wants to get no
there's
one wants
one
to
that
get in trouble. Oh, there goes the pace car. We're about to get things started here again. Lap 84 out of 134. We are green yet again here on Grid Vision with Roger Pierce and Tyler Luttrell leading things off.
the question I have is Luttrell able to get the demons taken out of that car there on that pit stop. Saw how fast he was a few stints ago. Not really able to get it off the ground that last one, but right now he's side by side with Patrick Gitter down the back straightaway. Gitter working the bottom lane, trying to make something happen. And here comes Noah Bitts trying to throw a 3 wide down the middle. Trying. He was just trying. It didn't actually happen. He got excited for nothing.
Yeah, well, if you look behind him, there
Come
was
on,
a
Noah.
3 wide situation. Yeah.
Oh, Noah throwing a block, though, on the 33 machine of Tommy Gossett. Gossett all the way up against the fence into 1 and 2.
He's going to hold on to it. They're side by side now. Justin Levine is not in the picture right now. What happened to Justin Levine?
He must have got speeding.
Must have been, because he's not currently visible in the top 10. I think that means he's down at the end of the line.
Yeah, Justin absolutely got speeding on that pit stop.
Yikes. Yeesh.
We didn't even pick you, dude. Come on.
Up here, Cody Johnson right now. He is the 80 machine that we were talking about earlier, the one that Vicente rocked his car around. I think that was Cody Johnson.
That 3 wide situation in the back with Johnny Baldridge in the middle. Looks like everything resolved itself pretty quick. Oh, no, it's still going. J.R. Barbarama working the outside with Zach Range on the bottom. Johnny gonna make up a spot there on Zach Range down into 1. Now making the moves on J.R. Barbarama, who's up on the top of the hill. But Barbarama up against the fence, going to use that outside line momentum that we've seen so much this week. And oh, contact! Around goes Barbarama off the nose of Baldridge, and he saves it.
What a save. What an absolute Chad. What a save.
No, guys, that is not direct. You see on the 15 machine, J.R. Barbarama not one to be safe all that often. But one hell of a save at the minimal out of the 15 machines. You see Justin Levine scoot through there, trying to pick up his spots to get back up to the front. But all eyes to the front of the pack now as Roger Pierce undergoing a little bit of a battle with Tyler Luttrell, who's working on top of the fence.
And we know how this usually goes. Luttrell only really dives the inside when it's time to cross the line. As soon as we get back out here to the stretch, into 1 and 2, into the back, he's going to use that wall the entire way around.
He's making good momentum up there, but it just does not seem like he has that same edge he had earlier. I think he was just catching people sleeping when they were trying to save tires at the beginning of a run. And then his tires just never fell off on that run for whatever reason. As you see,
That's
Johnson
possible.
in the 6 machine tagged the fence out of turn 4 right in front of Patrick Gitter. Also, where the hell did Johnson come from? Because I swear I haven't seen him all night.
Luttrell would have had to catch a lot of people sleeping if he was just catching people sleeping. I want to point that out at the very least. 27 cars between him and where he is now is a lot of people not paying attention. There's a lot of people saving their tires. And so either the whole field was doing it, or I think Tyler Luttrell is just driving like a bat out of hell right now.
I might even say it. Bad out of Luttrell.
Bat out of Luttrell? Hey. That's why you get the big bucks.
Sir, you said HE double hockey sticks, and I'm offended. Turn it off, Darby. We won't tolerate that fucking language. Well, Roger Pierce still holding it down up at the front. 0.2 of a second over second place Tyler Luttrell. Third place. About 0.7 of a second back. That's Johnson, followed by Gitter. I'll tell you what, Gitter's had a pretty good hot rod this evening, too, and a good run for him here. Bad luck weeks here or there sprinkled in, but Patrick Gitter always finds a way to rise up to the top here in these NIS races.
He really does. It's one of those drivers that is just resilient like that. He will always try to find his way to the top, and eventually you'll be talking about him before you even realize it. As a commentator, you're just like, Patrick Gitter. Oh my goodness, he's been here the whole time? Yes, he has.
Yeah, Patrick Gitter's just always good. Doesn't matter what he's in. Immensely talented driver there. Brandon Mill making the magic happen right now. Back up into the 4th position in that EPI machine. Taking the spot away from Patrick Gitter. A very nice Kyle Busch Lucas Oil tribute paint scheme. It's very much the hey, can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure, but don't make it look too obvious to the Kyle Larson paint scheme that we're so used to calling and seeing week in and week out.
I thought that looked slightly familiar to me.
Now to the bottom of the speedway, though. Tommy Gossett trying to take a position away from Patrick Gitter here through 3 and 4. Gitter going to get bunched up a little bit behind Brandon Mill, but Gossett not able to make the momentum on the bottom line work for him. Going to fall back in line. A little bit of contact right behind him. Bitts gets up into the side of Gulata. Gulata tries to take another swipe at him here. But Bitts is going to take the position down the back straightaway. Here comes Gulata now to the bottom end of the track to try and make something happen. The 99 machine of Noah Bitts, not able to make it work, though. Top going to prevail again.
Not quite enough momentum, not quite enough something. Angle, I'm not sure exactly what it was that Gulata was lacking there, but he didn't have enough of it. He needed his numbers to be higher, and they were just a little bit lower. Not going to make up places with that. Here at the front, Gitter looking to make it 3 wide right now. Very tight 3 wide.
Contact between the 2 of them, or the 3 of them.
Very tight 3 wide right there.
And that right there should have been a wreck.
Yeah.
And Tommy Gossett is the one that saved everybody's life there. Because if he'd have jerked the wheel just a little bit too hard in either or direction, about 5 or 6 cars would have been taken back home on a flatbed. And here it comes. Here comes Tyler Luttrell working the bottom line on Roger Pierce through 3 and 4. The first time we've seen that 54 machine down on the inside line. Let's see how it works for him. They both cut the apron to shave off that extra bit of time through 1 and 2. Roger Pierce making the outside line stick just a little bit better. You can see Luttrell get a little bit wiggly there through 1 and 2. Back in, tries to step out on him. He's going to tuck up right back behind, and here comes Johnson working his way into the picture really quick.
Yes, sir. Cody Johnson up 22 places. He's in 3rd now. Wants to be part of the picture for the podium. We've just crossed the line into lap 100, folks. We've got 35 laps left to go.
Tyler Luttrell holds it down on the top line for the time being as Roger Pierce tries to make the low line work. Not able to pull him up to the side draft, and they're going to try and dive it back down to 3. And the more that these guys run like this, the more these guys are dogging their tires trying to battle for the lead. That just opens a huge window of opportunity for Cody Johnson there in 3rd place. You see him slowly tick into that advantage of your leaders. And slowly bringing the rest of the field too, because Tommy Gossett putting together some pretty quick lap times here in the 4th position.
Gotta love it. Just gotta love it. Cody Johnson, what a drive. What a drive. 101 here. And folks, if you're just joining us a little late in the race, it's good to have you here. Tyler Luttrell has been putting on a bit of a show for most of the race here so far, with Roger Pierce as well. Cody Johnson is just getting into the podium picture just now. But if you've been here the whole time, also nice to have you. Thanks for joining us here on Grid Vision. Fans like you make this possible, so the more you interact with us, the more we interact with you, and everybody has a great night.
That's not what you said about our viewers under commercial.
What was that? The cars were too loud.
I said, that's not what you said about our viewers under commercial break earlier.
Oh, that was confidential. That was... there we go. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've got more to say about that as we go to commercial.
Pierce just about loses it out of 2, though.
Just about holds on to it, though. We're going to go to commercial, come back, and check back in on this battle before the end of the race. So don't go anywhere, folks. There'll be more from Grid Vision coming up.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back, folks, with some more racing here from Kansas Speedway. It's Grid Vision. It's the Wednesday night top split coverage. I'm Joe LaCastro here with Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire. And the three of us have been enjoying a very exciting race out of Kansas. So far, we're up on lap 108 out of 134. We got a little bit of a yellow flag situation. Raul Saraiva, excuse me. Saraiva? I will pronounce that better at some point, I'm sure. Ouch! A little bit of contact there.
Just slides right up the track in front of him, and around he goes.
Yeah.
It's a rough break for that 27 machine, because he didn't do it. Honestly, he didn't do a damn thing wrong there. Oh, man. And apparently
and then two for the money.
Yeah, I mean, which is crazy, man. Apparently the guy in last really wanted to be a part of the wreck.
Yeah. That little two-shot there at the end felt really unnecessary. It was unfortunate. 1, 2. Oh, man. Brutal. Just brutal. That's a good question.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
Who the last one that hit him was there.
Well, Vicente Salas is dropped from the race, unfortunately. And I'm wondering if he was one of the ones who maybe made contact there. I don't think so. We'll see.
What do we got here? All right, so
as the race gets ready to resume.
We got a Casey Kane font here, and it's shrunk down on the roof. And I assume the wreck's already probably started happening up there, right? What's going on? Oh.
Yeah, this is Bradley Brandon that we were just looking at there. Back to Raul Saraiva.
Such a rough break for him. And such a rough break for him because he ran so strong all night.
Yeah.
Floating around the top 10 all evening long. Just rough situation. Not much he really could have done about it. Bam. Oh, man, the 33 machine. Say gets caught up in it, too. I don't think Say could see it.
No. I'm surprised that Red didn't slam into it. Barely missed him. We're going to come back live here in a second. We're going to check in on things as we get ready to kick things off. It's lap 110 right now at a 134. The lights are off in the pace car, and you know what that means, folks. I know what that means. It means that we are going to be going racing very soon here.
I don't think we are. There's a car parked on the apron there, and that might be,
there goes the pace car. Let's see what iRacing thinks about that.
I think
it says green, green.
I mean, I'm wondering, is the rest of the field going to get a passing under yellow for that? Because the whole field just passed a car that was parked down there.
I don't know. We're going to find out. iRacing might be having a bit of a moment, but there was a car parked down there on the inside. As we are green yet again, though, here on lap 111.
Roger Pierce leads us down the back straightaway in front of Cody Johnson and Patrick Gitter. All three working in line for the time being. Johnson going to go all the way up against the fence. Gitter going to try and shoot the middle here, get down in front of Tyler Luttrell. And, oh, we got a car around.
Hard down to the inside.
And he keeps it in the grass, keeps it straight. Garcia, a bit of a wild ride for the Podium Hunters machine, but, hey, it's in one piece.
Hey, he's still got 4 wheels on it. He's got a fighting chance. That was a bit of a wild ride for him, though. Was out in front. Cody Johnson, a name that we have only talked about during the latter half of this race, really. He was making charges through the entire way. Look at this block of cars here.
See what happens here to the Garcia machine.
Yeah, here we are on the replay machine.
Gulata looks like he lost the nose a little bit there on the bottom and just slid up into the left rear quarter panel. Garcia and sent him right to the grass.
Good job keeping it straight. Good control, getting back in line and keeping everything green.
Well, look who has slipped his way into the mix here into the closing laps. 21 laps to go here. Look at who's found his way into third after I basically put on an island and said that he sucked halfway through the race.
You did have some things to say about Sean Congan's performance tonight, didn't you?
Well, you know what? grass is green, water's wet, Sean Conklin's fast, and Sheldon Atkins is wrong. Okay, it's just the way it works. Either way,
Yeah,
3 wide in the middle now. Sean Conklin trying to thread the middle with Patrick Gitter on the bottom. Going to get past Johnson on the outside. Conklin now up to second place, setting his eyes on his teammate Roger Pierce there at the point.
And look who's on the inside of the track right now. Tyler Luttrell can't get back to his usual haunt up on the outside. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Let's see if he
And
stays
goes
here
right
now.
there, first thing. Everybody's going up to the outside line now. It's going to be so difficult for Luttrell to use what makes him different here. Since everybody's up there taking away his preferred lane. Quentin Warman also finding himself in third place after running a car behind Sean Conklin this entire event. This is going to be interesting. You got a couple fast Ryko cars up here, but some of the more aggressive cars in the Ryko stable, all three going door to door, battling it out with each other. Right now, it's in the hands of Roger Pierce as he leads the line. Oh, huge crash on the front straightaway. One car around through the grass. Zach Range.
Uh-oh. That might be it for Range. He's had one or two dust-ups tonight, but he's had some good moments too. So let's see what happened here. Wayback Machine says he was 3 wide.
He got tight in 3 and 4, and then that got compounded by a car trying to pass him on the outside.
Yeah.
And he had to check up because he didn't want to get into the car. Want to get into that other machine to this top 20 car right there. Now when he checks up, 26 behind him just can't anticipate that there's going to be that much of a checkup. It's so hard to get it woed up, especially when you're stuck in somebody's slipstream and you're in the throttle point of the corner. And unfortunately for Range, trying to play on the air of safety gets him sent out to pasture.
And here he is, or here we are. The pace car is coming back onto the field to gather everybody up. 118 out of 134, just a handful of laps respectively left. Get things going here, folks. Be sure to hit that follow button if you're watching on Twitch right now. We really appreciate you. The more folks do, the sooner we can get you a little bit of higher quality streaming here. So it always goes a long way to hit that button and show your appreciation.
The question here is going to be, who's going to gamble with the strategy? Who's going to try and take 2 tires? Who's going to stay out? You know, you just said we only got a handful of laps left in this thing. Somebody's going to try something crazy here. Got a couple cars further in the back of the pack, opting to stay out, faking the remainder of the field down pit road. But a lot of cars staying out on the track here.
Ooh, what a fake move. Yeah, there was a bunch of cars that just kind of a whoop, sort of a weave in and weave out of the pit road entrance, opting to stay out and not go down and grab tires. Some names that did grab tires: Tommy Gossett, Joseph Galata, Derek Heitman, Paul Hill, Evan Say, who we've seen all over the field tonight. He was at the end of the entire field at one point. Now he's in 24th, even on pit road. Everybody else, though, staying out after having pit on lap 108.
Yeah, that's an interesting move because we know how important tires are here this week. The one thing, though, this is not going to be a better feeling in the world than being the first guy on tires here on this restart with a fast car working the outside line. Because you're going to be cutting through traffic.
And here we go. The pace car's lights are still on, so we've still got at least 2 to go here. Getting things stacked up, ready to race. Oh, a few cars are faking it down the thing again. This is a replay? Oh, sorry. I was like so confused for a second. I missed the up thing in the upper corner of the screen there. I was watching the wrong monitor. But now I'm good. Did you see that? That was wild how many cars all did that at the same time. I've never seen that happen quite with so many cars.
Used to be every pit stop back in the day.
Oh, wow. Okay, well,
back when we had infinite sets of tires on pit road. Every caution. Every caution.
Well,
because it used to be, you know, since it was like that, we do two laps on a set of tires. Caution come out, we'd come down, hit, throw on 4, send it back out. Because the way the tire meta was back then, it was they would just rapidly wear. Because we were
Oh,
also
that's wild.
we were also running about 12 degrees static camber in the right front. Well, 12 degrees static camber all across the car. Let me rephrase that. And it would basically turn the tires into a fire real quick, but we had a cool little threshold where it would stop wearing.
All right. Okay.
We figured out how to glitch the tires back in 2016 and ruined the service for a couple years.
Well, they got it handled now. There goes the pace car, and very soon Roger Pierce and Sean Conklin will see how they handle things here at Kansas Speedway. There's the green flag. We are green yet again, and away they go.
Everybody getting through 1 and 2, nice and clean. Roger Pierce holding it down on the bottom lane. Sean Conklin trying to make something happen on the top. Real question is going to be, what does Tyler Luttrell do here? Is he going to try and make it 3? You see Patrick Gitter trying to stage up a 3-wide move, though, for 3rd place, 4th place. One of the places. Oh, yeah, a little bit of contact. Gitter is going to get up into the side of Warman out of turn 4. And Warman's going to dive down to the bottom, and he's going to take the lead momentarily. Or, sorry, second. Now Warman back up to the top of the hill, trying to find the momentum to pull him down the back straightaway.
All right, we've got Quentin Warman now, a name we haven't had really in the contention up at the front for a lot of this race, but one that we're seeing now is holding on to that 2nd place spot by the skin of his teeth.
Oh, Johnson just about had a huge mistake. Oh, there it is. Johnson around sideways on the back straightaway, taking Benefield with him hard into the inside wall of both of those machines. Caution is not out. Is it going to come? No, no caution.
No caution thrown. There's all that real estate down there on the inside, and they used it all. Lap 123 is going to be curtains for those 2 cars for sure.
Benefield just a victim of circumstances. A quiet night, you know, not much really happening for him until that. Out of turn 2, taking him out of the race. No, another car around, head on to the wall on the back straightaway. Is that Levine? Justin Levine. The guy who dominated the early stages of this race, and Austin Edstrom going with him.
Oh, no. 2 names near and dear to our hearts. Lap 124. All right, we're going to take a look and see. We're going to take a look and see with the other wreck first.
Bitts just kind of drove through the back of Johnson there out of 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And that's going to shoot Johnson down into Benefield. Benefield didn't even have an idea that they were going to wreck until they were in the wall.
Nothing. Yeah. Here's another angle on that.
Bitts just kind of didn't lift, helped him right out of his own way.
Just a bit.
And such a good run that Johnson had put together tonight.
Johnson had it was a strong run, and to be undone in this kind of situation where you don't even get the benefit of having the yellow flag come out, his car is not driving this straight anymore, I don't think.
No.
And now let's see what happened.
Looks like Nanny slides up the track a little bit. Levine tries to go up. Nanny tail slaps and sends Levine hard into Edstrom on the outside line. 2 really good cars taken out there. Especially
that was some wild movement. Yeah.
Right there, that was an error on the 30 machine in Andy's part. Just got loose down there on the bottom, tried to chase it up the hill, and there was a car up there.
Yeah. Gets away completely free on that one.
Back again here, possibly.
Quick speed bump for Nanny becomes the possibly the end of the race for Edstrom and for Levine.
Little speed bump for Nanny becomes roadkill for Levine and Edstrom, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be hard pressed to get back their positions at this point, but hopefully they will stick around to finish the race and get those points.
Also, we were told, sorry, just not looking up at the chat, but we were told to check out old Nolan Hodgson in the 12 machine here.
Yeah.
Like a while ago. We can get a look. Maybe a new paint scheme for the 12 or something. Something interesting. Oh, yes, it is.
Ooh,
Noah
look at
Hodgson.
that gradient.
Oh, look at that. Joining the CFM group here. That's a good place for him to be. Nolan also one of these guys that's really been carving out good finishes here. Throughout the past handful of weeks, really finding a lot of pace and working really well in that top 5, top 10 bracket. Not quite the night he's hoping for here tonight at Kansas, but that momentum with those guys is probably going to carry him pretty far.
Gorgeous looking paint scheme. Love the gradient on that car. Thanks for pointing that out. CFM Designs by JDM.
As a and that is a fire-looking paint scheme there.
Here comes 3 and 4. We're getting ready for the green flag. We've only got about 8 laps left in tonight's race, folks. So, time to get hyped. Time to get pumped. I'm at the edge of my seat. Want to see what's going to happen here with Sean Conklin and Quentin Warman out in front, leading things on the Wednesday night top split coverage. There goes the pace car. We're looking for the Geico restart zone. There it is. We're green yet again. And here they go.
Good clean launch for Conklin. Trying to size him up though into turn 1 is Luttrell. Going to the top, down to the bottom, back to the bottom to cover in front of Patrick Gitter through 1 and 2. Conklin going to slap the hill a little bit. Here comes Luttrell down the back straightaway. And Patrick Gitter going to get side by side with Luttrell. A little bit of door contact between the two, down into 3. But here comes Luttrell, going to tuck back in line, pulling a slide job on Gitter. Gitter going to go up to the wall, trying to get by him, and Luttrell going to block him all the way to the fence.
Wow, what a block. That was very, very impressive out of Luttrell. I was going to say, when is he going to get back up to the outside? But now is not the time for casual coasting or driving. Now is the time for a bit of aggression. Now is the time for that heavy, active defense.
As we work our way to 3 and 4, we're going to come to the line. It takes 6 laps to go here. Sorry, 5 laps to go. Good old NASCAR math hit me.
It's all right. I get it wrong every week.
I'm all fucked up in here tonight. I'm trying. Conklin with the advantage now, 0.2 of a second over second place Tyler Luttrell. Both of them working the outside line. Conklin doing everything he can to take the air away from the 54 machine as he works ourselves down the back straightaway. And look at that. Shockley has worked himself up into the 3rd position in his Logitech Camaro. Where did he come from?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Joe Shockley. I'm trying to say 2 words at once. Yeah, for a second I did the same thing you did from earlier. I don't know where that came from, but Shockley up and
4 laps to go. Lock in.
Locking in. Locking in. I'm here.
Quentin Warman going to take over the 3rd place spot from Shockley though as he tries to work himself to the back bumper of the 54 machine of Tyler Luttrell. All of these guys working the outside line right now. Not much opportunity for anybody to get anything to happen here.
A lot of excitement, though, still happening there. Back at the middle of the pack here, Borborema in the 15, down on the inside, trying to make sure that he's got room. Up on the outside, he's got Roger Ears Pierce. Checking in on the front, though, Quentin Warman versus Tyler Luttrell. Warman out in front by a nose, nope, by a car length there, as he goes ahead and takes 2nd from Luttrell. Luttrell down on the inside, still on the bumper. They've got some distance between them. Ooh, yeah, I saw that Nanny just scraping off the wall there. Gitter still down on the inside of Nanny, leads this little group here as the rest of the front has gotten into a single file situation.
We are working into 3 and 4. Getting ready to take the white flag. Sean Conklin can be on cruise control from this point on as he's got about a 0.6 of a second lead over second place Quentin Warman. White flag in the air. Next flag is going to end it.
Here we go, folks. Let's bring it home. Into 1 and 2. Sean Conklin out in front with Quentin Warman, a late contender for the lead. Out here with him in second place, Tyler Luttrell. Can he do it? It's his best chance right now. Luttrell down to the inside. He's side by side with him. It's Conklin out in front for the checkered flag, but who's going to take second place? Luttrell slides in for second. Can't quite get it, though, before we get to the line. Sean Conklin takes it away. Quentin Warman in second. Tyler Luttrell in third. Big finish out of Kansas, folks. What a race. I thought for sure we were going to have a green-white checkered situation. Breathing out here. Just barely. What a great run. Absolutely. Chubb Shockley up here in fourth.
Absolutely. And Noah Bitts bringing it home fifth. Also an impressive run out of the 8 bunch tonight. Or, well, the 99 bunch this evening.
Jeez Louise.
Oh,
what
a little bit of... Well, it looks like Sean had a little bit of help. Yeah, it looks like Sean had a little bit of help starting the burnout. Got to get that rear end housing to fit through tech. Am I right there, Ken?
I think it's the only way to do it without getting disqualified is to have another racer slam into you at just the right angle. And here we go.
Well, I'll say one thing, you know, we talk about it just about every week, and we talk about it for good reason. Ryko Performance, they put together a really fast hot rod. And Sean Conklin, man, he is one of the best, if not the best that I've ever seen on this service. I mean, toe-to-toe with Garrett Maines, and heck, you know, those two guys are both legends in the making here on the iRacing service. So it is no surprise to see that 54 Napa Auto Parts machine make its way home here in front at Kansas.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's break down the unofficial results here from the Grid Vision Wednesday night top split coverage. First place, Sean Conklin. Second place, Quentin Warman. Third, Tyler Luttrell. Fourth, Chubbs Shockley. Fifth, Noah Bitts. Sixth, Patrick Gitter. Seventh, Daniel Nanny. Eighth, J.R. Bomarema. Ninth, Roger Pierce. And 10th, Joseph Galata.
In 11th place, we got Brendan Mill, followed by Evan Say in 12th. 13th place is going to be Paul Bergoli. 14th, Lincoln Bond. 15th place going to Tommy Gossett with Derek Heitman in 16th. 17th going to Justin Smith, followed by Nick Olson in 18th. 19th position going to be John Williams, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Maggie McGuire.
Moving on, 21st, Paul Hill. 22nd, Alan Wilson. 23rd, Brandon Schmidt. 24th, Johnny Baldridge. 25th, Richard Garcia. 26th, Sean Anderson. 27th, Bradley Brandon. 28th, Nolan Hodgson. 29th, Zach Range. And 30th, Justin Levine.
And rounding out the field tonight, 31st position going to be Dylan Banks, followed by Austin Estrom in 32nd. 33rd going to Ross Areva, followed by Cody Johnson in 34th. 35th place going to be Adam Benefiel, and rounding out the 36 car field this evening is going to be Vincente Salas.
What a race. Whew, and we've actually got a few of the racers here to talk to now. We've got Quentin Warman and Sean Conklin here in the green room waiting to talk to us up in the booth. First things first, I'm going to pass it over to you, Sheldon, and you're going to get a chance to talk to Quentin Warman here, and we'll see how he had things going. So take it away, Sheldon.
Hey, Quentin, Sheldon up here in the booth. You got your ears on?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, you know, I feel like we covered you to a lot of B Open wins last year, and you know, didn't see much out of you in NIS. But this year, you know, since we've gotten up here, it seems like there's one thing that's consistent. It's you finding yourself into that top 5 at the end of these things. Tell me how much of a change it is, you know, to go from running the B car to coming up here to the Cup.
Well, it's definitely a lot more aggressive. I think that's the most obvious thing. Saving tires a lot more of a factor, I believe, especially with the Cup car having more horsepower. The B car may have less downforce, but I still find that saving tires in the A car matters a lot more. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get too many green runs and then NIS, but luckily, I made the right adjustment on pit road to be able to be fast on that short run, and it paid off. I was just pushing Sean the whole race, because as long as someone at Ryko wins, I don't really care who wins. So I wasn't trying too hard to win. I was just trying to make sure we won.
Oh, company man, that's always greatly respected here with the team landscape of iRacing these days. Now, one question I do have to ask you: you and Sean both started this thing 1 and 2, and you both basically fell off a cliff. It felt like at the start of this thing. Was that by design? Were you guys just trying to save your stuff a little bit?
Yeah, that was 100% on purpose. We were 3 different times we just betted on the race going green, and we would fall back like 15 spots. And of course, every single time, like it felt like it was at the exact same time, every single caution. But as soon as we would start driving through the field and passing cars, once we would be halfway done with doing that, a caution would always come out, especially on the last caution before the short run started. Me and Sean had driven up to the top 5, and then right before we got to the leaders, the caution comes out.
You know, NIS always has a way of doing that to you, man. I swear. It's one of the reasons I sit up here and talk about them instead of running them anymore. But I say, man, a great performance tonight, getting yourself a nice podium finish here, and helping old Sean get the job done when he needed it the most. But who all do you want to thank and shout out for this evening?
I want to thank all the guys at Ryko for all the work we put in on this set, because it was perfect the entire race. I can't thank them enough for that. And I also want to thank my dad if he's watching. I don't know if he is, but just going to give a shout out to him in case he's watching.
Well, Quentin, thanks for coming up here to the booth and talking with us this evening. Looking forward to hopefully get to interview you from, actually hoping that Joe gets to interview you from P1 here soon one of these weeks, because you've definitely been bringing the speed here to NIS.
All right. Thank you, guys.
And I'm going to hand this back over to old Joe LaCastro here with the man, the myth, the legend, Sean Conklin.
Hey there, Sean. Can you hear us all right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your victory tonight from Kansas. How you feeling after that one?
Feeling pretty good. That was a fun race. Towards the end there, we actually got to do some racing earlier in the races. Just kept getting cautions and didn't really get to race at all. Just kind of kept saving, and then as soon as we would make a ton of ground towards the front, a caution would come out. But just how it goes. We adapted, and me and Quentin did great teamwork throughout the night to put ourselves back up there in the front and wind up being 1-2.
Yeah, we heard a pretty similar report where it was a situation of cautions kind of hampering your overall strategy. When it would kick in, you guys would run into the yellow flag and have to cycle back through and see how things were going. We didn't see you up in the front during the beginning of this race quite so much. Were you intentionally saving around that time and waiting to kind of open that can up a little bit later in the race?
Oh yeah, we were definitely saving, and it paid off every time. It just, we had nothing to show for it. I mean, it was clearly towards the end of those runs, every time a caution would come out, we were easily a tenth, 2 tenths faster than the leaders, and we were making up spots. Then just, we all get stopped, we have nothing to show for it, and we got to do it all again. So yeah, we were definitely just sitting there in the back, running around, trying to put ourselves in position for the end there. And we have a really bad fast car, so wish we could have shown more of it tonight on a long green flag run, but still got the W, so that's all that matters.
Yes, sir. You did get that W, and congratulations again for that. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to or thank tonight?
I just want to thank everybody that helped on the car today, making this car adapt to this weather, and it clearly does that because it's extremely fast. Ken, Roger, Quentin, and Derek, we were all they're all putting in laps today, and Ken making tweaks to the setup, trying to get this thing as fast as it can be tonight, and it sure paid off.
Absolutely did. Well, thank you for your time tonight, and congratulations again on your victory from Kansas. And you know what, Sean, we look forward to interviewing you again. I have a feeling we'll see you up again here in Victory Lane very soon.
I hope so. Thank you.
You take care. Have a good rest of your night. That was Sean Conklin, the winner tonight from Kansas. And how are you feeling about that race, my friend Sheldon Atkins?
Oh, there we go. Mike didn't want to work there for a second. I mean, it gave us everything that Kansas delivered to us this week, man. Great close quarters action, lots of different opportunities for passing, comers and goers. Look, man, we can run this track every week for the rest of the year. I would never have a complaint. But I mean, it is what it is. Cream always rises to the top, though. Sean Conklin, Quentin Warman getting great finishes out of the deal. And
Yeah.
a little touch of chaos and attrition sprinkled all around. So another good night here from Kansas Speedway, and a good night here in the Grid Vision booth. It's been an honor to sit here next to you, Joe, and Austin Derbyshire over there in the booth. And,
Yeah, I think you
back to
said
you
it
to
best,
bring us
my
home.
friend. The cream rises to the top. Yeah. So from the entire Grid Vision team,
What was that?
wanna
What
thank you
the
for-
fuck?
didn't know I had that in my back pocket, did you?
What in the fuck was that? We need to go. We're
You know
getting
what?
tired.
We're getting a little sleepy. That's why I was gonna do the rest of this as Randy Savage, but we're just gonna move on. From the entire Grid Vision team, we want to thank you for watching and participating in the chat, folks. For more information on getting your league broadcast or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations once again to Sean Conklin for the big victory out of Kansas Speedway tonight. And I have been Joe LaCastro. I have been joined by Sheldon Atkins and been produced by Austin Derbyshire. And hey, we'll see you next time on the grid.